Let's now turn to disturbing allegations contained in a video that went viral over the weekend featuring Nollywood actress Regina Daniel, who appeared distressed while complaining about violence in her marriage to Senator representing Delta North Senatorial District, Ned Nwoko. In the footage, Regina Daniel was heard saying that she no longer feels safe in her home and is tired of the violence. Let's take a look.
Please, I will bump your eyes. Don't do that. Please, ma, we are begging you. Please, please, ma. Please, ma.
In Ned Walker's house, I am nothing. But in my house, I am free.
No, you're still as valuable. Mom, look at me. Look at me, Mom.
Baby, once again, I cannot stand the violence. It's too much. It's too much.
Don't go give water now. Don't go give water. Just
relax. I can't give her water, Daria.
Just wait. Just
I actually want something.
Just relax.
This video went viral over the weekend. A man identified as Regina's brother, in response, posted warnings on his Instagram story, alleging Senator Ned Nwoko physically assaulted his sister and smashed her head on a wall before sending thugs. Well, in response, Senator Ned Nwoko issued a statement in a post on X denying the allegations and instead accusing his wife of substance abuse and violent behavior. In his defense, the senator posted a video along with the caption, "Regina's unprovoked carnage and rampage in my house and in my absence." Senator Nwoko further claimed in the post that Regina's current battle with drugs and alcohol abuse is the root of the problems in their marriage, stating that she must continue rehabilitation or he fears for her life and safety. And I'll read a part of his post on X. Ned Nwoko wrote, "Regina is the violent one here, slapping and hitting 3 staff in the past 48 hours and destroying property, including cars and windows, for no just cause. The truth is, I have set a clear condition for her to accept rehab in Asokoro or outside Nigeria, especially Jordan, where she will not have access to drugs." And you know, this conversation has sparked a lot of reactions, sparked a debate on X. And I'll take Collins' tweet before I come to you, Ayo. Collins wrote, "Dear Senator, Sunday greetings to you. This statement you have put out raises several potential issues from a legal standpoint of view. 1, knowledge of criminal activity. If you had credible evidence long before now that named persons, Sammy and Ann, are supplying illegal drugs to your wife, the law generally requires or at least expects that such information be reported to law enforcement. Failure to do this in certain circumstances constitute aiding and abetting. I'm guessing that to protect your wife, you have never reported drug supply and usage regarding your wife. 2, rehabilitation and consent. Forcing or coercing an adult into rehabilitation without legal authorization can amount to unlawful detention. I believe that the lawful route is to obtain a court-ordered medical evaluation or guardianship order, especially if there is evidence of self-harm or danger to others. I may be wrong about judicial procedures in Nigeria. I think you should have a media team deal with this in the public space, or sometimes emotions get the best of us, while privately you deal with this matter." And you know why this story has come on television? It's because the senator is a public figure. I mean, this is a marriage situation, but if we have allegations, accusations of a senator violently smashing his wife's head on the wall, I mean, this, you know, it now becomes a public debate. I mean, these are the sort of questions that, you know, are raised. And the fact is, like the ex-user wrote out there, how is it that you have all this information about your wife and you never said anything about it until she comes out to say, "I am tired of this house"? Then you play the card. That's a lot of the conversation out there. You either play the prostitution card or the drugs card. Your
That's
thoughts?
happened a lot in recent times. You're absolutely spot on. I was going to say that aside the moral and domestic part of this story, the key issues here are the fact that we're talking about a man who has the trust of his people sitting in the National Assembly as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And these are very weighty allegations, especially because we often talk about domestic violence. I know that Lagos State has a great agency for dealing with that. On a national level, we don't have individuals. I think it will just be Violence Against Persons Act. That's what we'll be talking about here when it comes to hitting. But beyond that, it's also looking at the kind of people that we elect into office. I'm not saying he's guilty, because at the end of the day, there's one side of there are two sides of the story, then there's the truth. So she's spoken, he's come out to say something, and then there's the truth which ought to be investigated. But in the event that this is true, we've had a number of allegations against people in this particular Senate sitting of the House. And I think it's important that we begin to even investigate the kind of people that we put into or elect into offices. Beyond that would be then, if the allegations of domestic violence is true, I believe that it is high time as a nation we took a serious stance against this. We're talking about, and this is domestic violence against either husband or wife. We're still on the case of the policeman who we're still investigating whether or not his wife burnt him to death. We're still talking about Miriam Sanda, who was forgiven by the president for killing her husband. So we're talking about these things that start off as hits here and there and then turn. Let's not wait for a manslaughter case before we begin to cry blue murder. Let us talk about it now. And then I agree totally. The NDLEA Act speaks to drug use.
Yes.
We have a pervasive drug problem in Nigeria, particularly among young people. And so if we're talking about two public figures speaking freely about the access and use and abuse of drugs, it has to be investigated by NDLEA. And I hope that they will not be taken over by the fact that these are mighty or powerful people in Nigeria and not take on this investigation.
Rufai, your thoughts quickly.
So this attempt to constantly demonize people is so easy to throw in words like drug abuse and everything. And that tweet asked a very valid question.
Abuse,
prostitution and everything.
Illness.
I mean, we've had many cases by public officials. And that tweet asked a question, so why now? Because when both of them were doing love in Tokyo, we all used to see all of them now. Is it not Ned Nwoko and his wife?
Regina Daniel.
We used to see them when they were doing love in Tokyo. But you see, two things I'll say. Once abuse gets in, please leave, because abuse will never stop. Once drug gets in, please seek counseling, because it's hard to shake off a drug problem. Thirdly, will people be sanctioned for what they have done? Never, because they are politicians and they have power. That's the downside to this country. Let me predict what will happen, and I might be wrong. A couple of months down the line, they will probably reconcile. Because money too is also a problem. Let us go back to the circumstances of the marriage in the first place. And that's why, please, women, not all that glitters is gold. So, along the line, you will see what will happen is they will all tell us to mind our own business.
Yes, a former minister and his wife have done that.
They will tell us to mind our own business, that what God has joined together, let no man put us under. Probably what will now happen is the abuse might probably continue and we will not be privy to it. So, in the end, yes, we have to talk as public commentators. But with due respect, that's why I don't like to put my mouth inside man and woman matter. We are just wasting saliva. But there is a role money plays in all of this. There is a role class plays in all of this. There is a role substance plays in all of this. There is a role power plays in all of this. If it's another innocent human being that will have done that, you will have seen all the NGOs that have to do with public. They will have filed court cases by now.
All right.
Let's go to the end of today.
All right.
You know what's the weekend? The courts were not.
Like they say in Yoruba, let's covet.
All right, time is kicking.
They've not filed anything on this one.
I'd like your thoughts really quickly.
I think all angles have been touched, but the one that I want to focus on is around age of consent, which, there's a blurred line between how old she was when she got married, but the general consensus is that she was 17 when she was married off, and it takes us back to the debate around young brides, child brides, girls they're not yet women, they're not yet ready to be in the way of marriage, and you know, all the factors that have been pointed out, whether it be money, power, influence, status, romance them into these settings. I ask myself, what does an underage girl know about a polygamous setting? How could she have known what she was signing herself up for in such a setting? Everything is in the realm of allegations right now, but all we know is we have this video of a disgruntled, disheveled young Regina Daniels who has barely been in her marriage more than 5 years, I believe. And it's unfortunate to see that in a home that's supposed to be a stately home, that's supposed to belong to one of our respected leaders and family members, it's a family setting, that something would degenerate to this extent. And there wasn't a single elder or adult who could speak some type of sense into this situation, who could switch the cameras off in that moment. Yes, even if they're recording for the sake of their evidence, this isn't something that needed to be dealt with in the glaring eye of the public, because we are not going to help your situation, unfortunately, in this instance. Our commentary can only go so far. It's only the parties that are involved that are able to take charge in this situation and that are able to take the necessary actions. Now it's been brought to light. I'm glad that Regina has taken some time away from the public space to face whatever is currently going on. I hope that her husband can also take this away from the public space so that these issues can be dealt with, whether it be legally, whether it be whatever steps are taken. This is a sensitive issue. There are children also involved in the issue. So, you know, we also have to restrain ourselves in, you know, as much as we want to comment further on it. I hope the elders in this family come together and are able to you know, to mediate for something peaceful for the children specifically.
We'll follow up on the story. We will follow up on the story.